Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Nasty here. Welcome to Sunday. Welcome to Random Pick Day on the channel. Now, today I've decided to go for a budget between, I think, 100,000 or 200,000 and then 500,000 buy it now. Yeah, 200 to 500k. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get players that cost that much, because if someone's got a high price range, for instance, they wouldn't be quite that much. But our first player does fit within those parameters. 87 rated Heung-min Son, third in form. Someone that I used a little bit last week in a different video and thought that he was incredibly good. So I'm going to pick him up to test him out for the random pick today. And if you do enjoy today's episode, guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and push towards 1,000 likes on today's episode. And then we get loads of Heung-min Sons again for our second pick. But then I decided to go with Timo Werner. Switch leagues. I nearly went with the 84 Wilson, but decided to switch it up to the Bundesliga to see what we could get. And he is under the threshold. He's a lot cheaper, but he's obviously got quite a big price range. And then on page number 7 for our final player, we get ourselves, well, I decided here to choose the icon because I've never used any version of Maldini ever, and this is obviously the cheapest one. He's a left back. I'm wondering how he would perform on the game. I was recently playing alongside Chesnoid Gaming, who had just built an Ultimate Team squad, picked up Maldini for his team, seemed to really like him, so I thought, you know what, I actually want to buy him, see how he gets on. So I'm going to go with my trusty 4-3-2-1 today, just based on the players that we've picked. It means that Son gets as involved as possible, and then Timo Werner's kind of, as much as he's a lone striker, he's going to have two forwards with him to help back him up, and then of course left back for Maldini, who is 88 rated and actually looks like a pretty solid player. So the team around them looks a little bit like this. There's only one other special item in the squad. Other than that, I tried to make it so that the three would really stand out. But in goal today, I've got a perfect link between Ruffier and then Perrin as our first centre-back. So he stands alongside Barzagli, Italian from Juve, gets a strong link to my right centre-mid, and a nation strong link to my right-back, who is Florenzi, a solid player. I use him a fair bit, and I actually think he's one of the better fullbacks for the price on the game. Maldini then is our first random pick player. 88 rated, cost me just shy of 500,000 coins. So right at the top of that spectrum today. 87 defending, 87 pace, 90 defending on the Italian though. So hopefully he could be actually pretty solid for us today. Next up we've got Dele Alli and Harry Kane chilling in the midfield. Player of the month Kane, I genuinely think could play absolutely fine in that CM spot. Like, it doesn't matter, like he's got the stats that would kind of work there. Only thing that he wouldn't be able to do is defend, whereas we've got Khedira to do more of that job for us, and let's face it, Dele Alli can do alright there as well. Bellarabi gets a strong link off to the striker to get him enough chemistry, and then a weak link off to Khedira. That's how we link the leagues up today. And Timo Werner is going to be our second random pick player here today. 84 rated. This is the same. This is his first in form, but it's the same rating as the Futmas version of him that came out. So, of course, if you haven't got this in form, but you got the Futmas, you can go ahead and use this one. And then we have Heung-min Son, 87 rated. He's now got 90 pace, 89 dribbling, and 89 shooting. 4-star skill, 5-star weak foot. I paid 284 for him, and that was pretty much his stable price for both his 84 and then his 86 in form. So we were very lucky to get him come out in packs during Team of the Year. Otherwise, I think he would have been a lot more expensive on FUT 18, just because everyone loves him, you know. Everyone does love a bit of Heung-min Son. He works really well, and I'm sure he's going to do a good job for us today. I mean, I'm now about to move over to the clips, and I can assure you he definitely did a good job for us today. So you can now see the goals that we were able to actually score with the squad. And I normally play minimum of 4 games, and today we got enough goals that we could just play our 4 games. And the first 2, I have to say, I had the most button delay I've ever had. I have just been experiencing pretty bad internet lately. It normally works itself out absolutely fine after I restart my internet, and it definitely did. I played a couple of games, realised that it's probably my end. I know I was in the FUT Champions Daily Knockout when I was playing these games, but and that's dedicated servers, but still, I think you have to have relatively stable internet at both ends for it to make sense. Otherwise, you will get delay. And I definitely noticed a huge difference as soon as I restarted my net, because I was getting like legit 1 to maybe even 2 second delay between when I pressed my pass button and when like Harry Kane would actually make the pass to someone. It was crazy. One game I was able to come away with a massive win. I think like 5-0, 5-1, something like that. And then the next game that I went into, the guy was obviously slightly more capable at handling the delay than I was, and I ended up losing like 3-1 or something. So swings and roundabouts really when you're playing in delay, whether or not someone is more used to it than you are or can cope better with it than you can. And I had 2 very, very different experiences, and all I'll say is that as soon as my internet was a lot fresher again, I could definitely play more my FIFA, and what that meant is that we could really get the ball out to Timo Werner, to Heung-min Son, and let them do the work. Now, you'll notice throughout these clips that in the 4 games we played, I was only able to get a couple of goals with Werner. Now, sometimes, you know, I'm kind of through here, but I play the smart pass to Heung-min Son. Maybe I could try and take the defender on and hit it with Werner himself. But I was just trying to be a little bit unbiased and just play whatever was the smartest thing to do. And what Werner was a really, really good hold-up striker who ended up passing it out to an on-running Heung-min Son quite a lot of the time, or in the opposite way, out to Bellarabi too. So you'll see in the end bio for Timo Werner that he actually got loads and loads of assists for the club, and Heung-min Son got loads and loads of goals for the club. So they both did a very, very good job. But end product wise, I had my fair share of chances with Werner, and he was only able to put 2 away. So I did have a little bit of an issue with his end product, you know, sticking it straight into the goalie's hands, hitting the woodwork, hitting it wide of the post. There were definitely more opportunities for him to actually get a fair few goals for the team. But you know what? I'm not gonna downgrade him too harshly because of that, because at the other end of the spectrum he was able to provide like loads and loads of assists and still come up with a couple of goals as well. So he did his duties as a striker for my team. He was just kind of playing as like the hold up one to then play it through to a very, very clinical Heung-min Son. This guy on this game is unbelievable. He just makes the most well-timed runs and has a ridiculous shot on both feet, which is all I could ever really ask for. You know, 5-star weak foot, probably one of my favourite things on FIFA, as I've said countless times by this point, just because your opposition's defence have absolutely no clue of which way you're going to dip the shoulder, whether you're going left or right, to then go ahead and take that shot, which gives you that extra edge of just being able to fire off a shot a second or so before they can react to which way you've actually gone. And the 4-star skills added to that for Heung-min Son is of course very, very nice. And then he scores like half volleys like that. It's a stunner. It's loads and loads of power, and it flies on in to the back of the net. He might be up there in terms of best value for money players that you can get on this game who have got like mad stats, because yeah, you're going to pay 280k for him, but he's worth every single penny. There's definite upgrades from this one to the regular item at this point in time for sure, and I even notice upgrades from the 86 and the 84, and I've used both of them too. So he definitely is the best version of Son that we've got to date, and I hope he gets more items throughout the year. That would be great. So overall, this team in goal, Ruffier, can't really complain too much. He seemed to do a pretty good job, and you know, he's got good stats. Like he's a pretty good keeper. There's a lot of good French defenders that you could play in front of him. So he's always a good option if you're just building like a nation. Perrin was a little bit slow. Barzagli, again, the same. I felt like both of them were a little bit lacking on the pace, but maybe that's just because I've been using some very quick players lately. But Florenzi helps to deal with that, and of course Maldini helps to deal with that. So he gets like an 8 out of 10 overall. Solid left back, not as good as Roberto Carlos and stuff because he doesn't have like the end product, but he does cost nearly 500k, and I think that's way way too much. So 3-star value for money for him. There are so many better options that are going to cost you under 100,000. Honestly, that I wouldn't ever really bother going for this left back Maldini again. I'd rather pick up Alexandro, David Alaba, Jordi Alba, like loads. There's so many options of players. It just depends what league and stuff you've got to build from. In the midfield then, thank God we had Khedira to really hold things down in the midfield, because he does a fantastic job of that, and he lets the more creative players in Harry Kane and Dele Alli do their thing. Ali acting as like a centre mid, and Kane kind of acting like a cam throughout this squad. Bellarabi did well, using his pace, dragging the defenders out wide, leaving gaps in the midfield, or in the middle for my attackers and stuff. And then Timo Werner, 2 goals and 8 assists in the 4 games. 5-star value for money, 8.5 out of 10. So a really solid above average rating, and I think for the 56k that you're going to pay for him, that's a steal. He is a great attacker in the Bundesliga, and I do rate him highly. Heung-min Son, 9.5 out of 10. He's getting towards being that perfect player for me again. There's just something about him I always get on so very well. 5-star value for money, 284k paid. That's a fair amount of coins. But this guy will just net you goal after goal after goal. An absolutely insane player that I really do enjoy using on the game. So there you go, guys. That is the random pick today. A squad between the French League, Italian League, Icon, Premier League and Bundesliga. So and a bit of a nice mix there today. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Have a great day and I'll catch you next time. Peace.